Hi, I'm Jonathan Swindle. I'm one of the lecturers on the Art Foundation course, and I'd like to take a moment of your time to show you about using an iPad in the studio on a daily basis. My students are either graphic designers or illustrators, and as such, they respond to industry-related projects. These are already in place on Moodle, so students are familiar with accessing technology to help them in their project realisation. We don't have computers in the room, so having that in the palm of your hand to access and show the students right there and then is invaluable, really, particularly where we can show them how their work will look on the screen and the reality of it. We don't really hand out project briefs. It seems a bit of a waste of paper and time and effort, but they're all on Moodle, so having that ability to access them, focus right there and then with the individual students, and particularly talking about grading criteria, I mean, it's massively important to have that in the palm of your hand. The vast majority of my teaching and that of my colleagues is by way of one-to-one guidance and support, helping them achieve their goals on projects. Never really tell them how to do it, it's more what to look at and where to look. As such, we've built up a huge database of resources on Moodle, so having the access of Moodle in the palm of my hand whilst I'm talking with the student is really good, relating their work to that of the industry professional, and they can really see in context what they're doing, how they're doing it, and potential for what they're doing. So with the introduction of the EILP system this year, we've been more readily able to document tutorials with the students. Previously I've had to handwrite my conversations and then input them onto the system at a later date, whereas with this I can just type it there and then. Another key advantage of an iPad is that it's small and discreet, and without any trouble I can log into the EILP system, discuss any issues, write them up, and the conversations that we're having include any targets. It's not always possible to find a quiet space to talk, so unobtrusive portability, the iPad for that purpose can't be underestimated, really. But this is really good. My students are pretty clued up, but sometimes a visual clarification of what I'm trying to explain goes a very long way. The ability to whip out the iPad, reference an example or two of what I'm trying to explain, and then relate these back to the student's own work is extremely useful, and it's proven to be highly beneficial over the years. The iPad's not replacing me, it's just another tool to aid my delivery, but don't take my word for it. This is what Alice had to say. Alice? So, just now, we had a look at the research, and how was it having an iPad right here, right now with me? Was it useful or not?
Yeah, I thought it was useful because I could understand straight away what you were actually talking about, instead of you saying it and then I'm having to go and research and not kind of in the moment.
Okay, and how important is research to your projects?
Well, I have to have it all the time, otherwise I can't actually do the project at all and any ideas.
Okay, so having it here right now with me...
It's so much easier, yeah, instead of going off all the time and coming back again.
Yes, thanks for that. Cheers. The creative arts is a really visual and vibrant industry, but evidencing that within the educational setting is paramount and quite tricky. But this is where an iPad really comes into its own. It's that immediacy of being able to capture the moment as it happens and record events as they develop. It's great because you never quite know what you're going to get. And yet here again, scroll through images, have a look, choose a right one, and then in the blink of an eye I can share it via my email, or I could use the adapter and plug it straight into the whiteboard, showing the students, flicking through, interacting. And before you know it, I've uploaded it to Moodle for all the students to see and engage with. It's a great way of encouraging peer-to-peer learning and a fabulous tool to promote discussion within a busy studio environment. If you like, it's Art School 21st Century.